Looking back now, I'm almost sure Avengers. Endgame's ending doomed one of its worst villains to a fate worse than death, the finale of Avengers. Endgame likely dooms one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's most abhorrent villains to a fate worse than death. The Red Skull, who is Captain America's primary nemesis in both the comics and the MCU, unexpectedly returned 7 years after his Captain America, the first Avenger debut in Avengers: Infinity War. After seemingly being disintegrated by the Tesseract, Infinity War reveals that Johann Schmidt was actually transported to Vormir and cursed to guard the Soul Stone. With his megalomaniacal goals now impossible, Red Skull simply guides visitors to the stone. Of course, obtaining the Soul Stone is simple, but by no means easy. Anyone seeking the Soul Stone must sacrifice the life of a loved one in trade for it. Thanos killed his daughter, Gamora, for the Soul Stone in the main timeline, and in an alternate 2014, Black Widow sacrificed herself so Hawkeye could have the stone. Thanos would use the main MCU Soul Stone to kill half of all life in the universe in an instant, while the alternate 2014 stone would be brought into the main MCU timeline to bring everyone back. With both versions of Thanos dead, and everyone killed by the snap resurrected, Steve Rogers begins a mission to return all of the stolen Infinity Stones at the end of Endgame. While it is not shown in the film, this inevitably would have led Captain America to the alternate timeline's Vormir, where he would return the Soul Stone and likely encounter Red Skull for the first time since World War II. The Russo brothers confirmed this, though they noted that the two most likely would not have fought each other again, despite their rivalry. The Red Skull's curse and decades of duty protecting the Soul Stone would have eroded his personality over time, leaving him little more than a ghost of his former self, who thinks and does little more than whatever relates to his newfound duty. What would become of Red Skull if his duty was fulfilled is unknown, but the alternate 2014 version simply returned to the task by the end of Endgame. Steve Rogers traveled back to Vormir not long after Hawkeye obtained the Soul Stone and returned it, reinstating the Red Skull's position as Stonekeeper. Endgame's ending suggests that this alternate version of Red Skull will simply guard the Soul Stone for the rest of eternity. Red Skull would have had no time to ponder anything else in the time between Black Widow's sacrifice and Steve Rogers returning the Soul Stone, so he would simply remain on Vormir until the next visitor seeks the stone. His mainstream MCU counterpart, however, may have a different fate. In the main MCU timeline, Thanos obtains the Soul Stone on Vormir, uses it to kill half of all life in the universe, and then destroys it along with the other Infinity Stones. This could mean that Red Skull is free from his duty, as there is no Soul Stone to guard anymore. It might also see him return to his megalomaniacal ways, with his original personality emerging once again. Of course, he might not have a way to leave Vormir, limiting his ability to menace the main MCU Earth again, though it does make an eventual MCU return possible. It is unknown how the alternate 2014's Red Skull eats or rests. His cursed existence may mean he no longer requires them. It would also seem that this version of Red Skull is condemned to this existence for eternity, arguably a fate worse than death. Considering the suffering that Red Skull inflicted on countless people as the leader of Hydra, however, it is difficult to feel sympathy for him. The status of Red Skull's mainstream counterpart is unclear, but his alternate 2014 self will seemingly remain a Stonekeeper forever after the events of Avengers: Endgame.